Hello and welcome to Middle Eastern Thursday. So today, guys, we have a very special video. So if you've been with me for a while, you know that I started my journey into Middle Eastern fragrances. I think it was like in February of this year. And I actually came on here and I invited you all to join me. And so many of you decided to go on this journey with me. And it's been months of collecting fragrances because there's been so many launches and so many fragrances that I was not aware of that I've tried thanks to your recommendations. So today I am going to dedicate this video to vanilla fragrances because on this journey I have found so many precious vanilla fragrances. I have a total of 15 fragrances that I'm going to share with you today that I consider to be the very best vanillas that I've discovered while on this journey. In addition, I have 2 fragrances that I will have an honorable mention for at the end of the video because I have talked about those fragrances so much here on the channel, I figured it was not fair to include them in this lineup. So you guys know that recently I did do a large declutter of Middle Eastern fragrances, but I want you to know that these fragrances are the ones that survived the declutter, and I plan to have them in my collection forever because to me they are just perfection. Before we get started, I also want you to know that I will be sharing these fragrances in no particular order. These are just 15 fragrances that I consider to be the elite of vanilla fragrances from the ones that I've sniffed and I've tried so far. But before we jump right in, if this is your first time here, I'm Arahi and I'm your fragrance concierge because I'm totally committed to creating the best fragrance experience for you. In this channel, we talk about all types of fragrances, all the way from designer to niche to Middle Eastern to affordable, all fragrances. I upload videos multiple times a week, and sometimes I do give you a bonus video. Now, if that sounds like the type of content that you're interested in and like a good plan, then please consider subscribing, give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget, leave a comment. Let's go. So the first fragrance that I'm going to share with you today is a fragrance that was allegedly inspired by Maison Francis Kurkdjian's Satin Mood. And this one is Oud Satin. And to me, this is like your rose and oud with a dominant vanilla kind of fragrance. So if you're looking for a fragrance that really brings the rose into play, but also has a pretty dominant vanilla and a touch of oud just to add some character and sophistication to it, then this is a fragrance that you really need to get your nose on. So this fragrance has a vanilla that, oh my goodness, this fragrance is sweet, but it's warm also, and it's perfection for the fall and winter seasons. It is one of those fragrances that you can wear to any occasion where you want to be noticed, but not in a very bold or statement-making way. It is just an elegant and sophisticated fragrance. As I said before, to me, this one is spot on. To me, this is like 98% satin mood. But I will tell you that I find this one a tad bit less refined than the original. So the next fragrance that I'm going to share with you, I would consider to be like the perfect candy vanilla fragrance. You know, so like a fragrance that has a dominant vanilla note, but at that it's very candy-like. And this one is Paris Corner Khair Confection. This fragrance is supposed to be inspired by Kayali's Vanilla Rock Sugar Candy 42, if I recall correctly, which is a fragrance that I also have in my collection. And I did test them by my, side by side. But what I can tell you is that to me, this one definitely has better performance, but I still prefer the Kayali a tad bit more. There's not much of a difference between one and the other, but I do find that this one has more vanilla than the original and also has other notes that, while being the same as in the Kayali OG, the notes are a bit more dominant than in the Kayali fragrance. So I do get more of a candy effect out of this fragrance than I do from the Kayali fragrance. But all in all, guys, this is a beautiful vanilla fragrance if you're looking for that candied vanilla type of fragrance. The next fragrance is one of the first fragrances that I remember discussing with you. I think it was like my third Middle Eastern fragrances video. I brought this fragrance on, and from the first sniff, I definitely fell in love with it. And I'm speaking about Al Rehab's Choco Musk. This fragrance is just a delight. This is like your warm vanilla with a touch of cocoa fragrance. This fragrance is truly a gourmand, and I tell you, layering it with others is just perfection. I have tried layering this fragrance with just about everything, and when I say everything, I mean designer fragrances, Western niche fragrances, it doesn't matter. And this is my second bottle because if you may recall, I had like a really tiny decant, and then I also had a small, I think it was like 30 ml or something like that, and then I picked up this one also. But I absolutely love and recommend this fragrance as a vanilla that will bring that cocoa kind of vibe into the mix, making it for an exquisite gourmand. Let us know what you think about Choco Musk. Now, the next fragrance on my list is one that will not be a surprise to you if you've been with me for a while, because my goodness, from the moment I first sniffed this fragrance, it was an immediate love. And I was quite obsessed with this fragrance for several months until another one that I'll be talking about later came out. This one is from Paris Corner Emir, and this is Forbidden Sugar. Now, Forbidden Sugar is supposed to be inspired, and it is, by Franck Bouclet's Sugar fragrance. I don't know if you've ever tried that fragrance. I had never tried it when I first picked up this fragrance, but since then I did pick up a small sample of the Franck Bouclet Sugar fragrance, and I thought that it was just perfection. But this one is very close to that fragrance. I would say like 90% close. But what I can tell you is that this is a beast. When I tell you beast, and by the way, most of the fragrances that I'm going to be sharing with you today are beast fragrances. And for those that are not, I'm going to make sure to let you know which ones are not. But anyway, this fragrance, guys, is so addictive. When I tell you addictive, this will put you in like a sugar comatose, because this is truly a very sweet, but it's almost like you can smell pure sugar, like raw sugar, like unrefined sugar. This is what I would consider your caramel and vanilla fragrance. And when I tell you that the vanilla here is sweet and yummy and addictive, I tell you, you are going to spray this on your skin and want to keep applying it over and over and over again. Let us know if you've tried this one and your thoughts. All right, guys, so the next fragrance that I have for you is another fragrance that is highly addictive. And this is a fragrance that will not come as a surprise to you, because I've talked about this fragrance so much here on the channel. And I'm speaking about Paris Corner Emir Frenetic Delicieuse. Now, this is a fragrance that is supposed to be inspired by Dior's Fève Delicieuse. And truly, to my nose, this is around 95% Fève. Now, I can tell you that this is your cherry, vanilla, caramel, and tonka bean kind of vanilla fragrance. So if you're looking for an incredible fragrance that brings together those notes, well, this is the fragrance that you're looking for. Let us know what you think about this fragrance if you've gotten your nose on it. Now, this next fragrance is, if you're looking for a vanilla fragrance that is a musk-based fragrance, truly a vanilla musk fragrance, an easy pull every day, then I think you should really give a try to the Gulf Orchid Musk Collection Tahara Vanilla. Now, this is a fragrance that I first brought onto my collection, I think it was at the beginning of spring. And I absolutely love this fragrance because it is such an easy reach. And I'll be very honest with you, this is one of the easiest fragrances to pull if you like take a shower late at night and you just want something cozy, to sleep on, this is perfection. This is also perfect if you're going to like a yoga class or you're going to the gym, because it is just such an easy reach and pleasant fragrance. It is non-offensive. It does perform very well. It's not a beast. So this is one of the ones that I told you was not a beast. This is not a beast, but it does perform rather well because it does give me a solid 7 hours. Let us know if you've tried Tahara Vanilla. Now, the next fragrance that I have for you is what I consider to be like your citrusy vanilla fragrance. And this fragrance for me is not really a winter fragrance. This is exclusively for the fall. And I'm speaking about Paris Corner Autobiography, and this is Citron Vanilla. Now, this fragrance, guys, is one that for me, it is just perfect for the fall. This is not a fragrance that I would recommend at all for the winter season. This is a fragrance that you can pull off during the spring, the summer for the most part, and definitely for the fall. This is definitely a citrusy vanilla, and it is a fragrance that is also a very, very easy reach. It is non-offensive, and it is one that I like to pull for more of a casual occasion. I don't use this one for not for a dressy occasion or a date night. Absolutely not. This is a fragrance that is perfection for casual occasions, any type of event during the day or night where you're going to have more of a casual look. Now, this next fragrance also will not come as a surprise if you've been with me for a while, because this is one of those fragrances that I actually hauled here on the channel with you. And from the first moment, my reaction was like, whoa, I was so impressed with this fragrance. So I'm sure that you're all familiar with YSL's Baby Cat. And this one is Emir Paris Corner, and this one is Rifaaqat. Not Rifaaqat Adorn, because there's another Rifaaqat that just came out maybe about 6 months ago, and I did bring that to the channel and talked about it, and I do enjoy it. But when it comes to vanilla, guys, this is the fragrance that you want to pick up if you are into a vanilla and leather kind of fragrance where the vanilla is quite dominant. This fragrance is supposed to be inspired by YSL's Baby Cat, which is a fragrance that I also own. And I can tell you that I would say that this is about 95% YSL Baby Cat. You just cannot go wrong, in my opinion, with this fragrance. And it is definitely a beast, and of course a very, very high compliment getter. This is definitely a spicy vanilla fragrance, and although they have not disclosed it in the notes of this one, there is definitely leather here. But the leather, much like in Baby Cat, is very smooth and done beautifully. I tell you, the differences between this one and Baby Cat are quite negligible. So if you've had a hard time finding Baby Cat, or you just don't want to pay that kind of money, well then you may want to give this one a try, because I think you will be very surprised and impressed. So the next vanilla fragrance that I have for you is if you're looking for a true woody vanilla fragrance. And I am speaking about Lattafa's Ameer Oud Intense. Oh my goodness, guys. So you may recall when I first picked up this fragrance, and it has been sitting for months, and as soon as the cool weather started to approach, I immediately started to pull, because this is a fragrance that I find so easy to layer with so many other fragrances, regardless of what they are, regardless of them being designer or Western niche. It doesn't matter. This is just a beauty to layer with, because it's a fragrance that not only brings that incredible vanilla, but it also adds depth to any fragrance, because it is woody, but it's also exquisitely done, and it is a beast. So if you have, let's say, a floral fragrance that you really, really enjoy and that may not even be suitable for the fall, but you layer it with this one, you're going to automatically make that fragrance like a true fall and even winter type of fragrance, because that is the amount of oomph and intensity that this fragrance brings to the table. But at that, guys, there's also like a degree of like smokiness to this fragrance. I just think this fragrance is just absolute perfection. And like I said before, it performs impeccably. Let us know if you've tried this fragrance because I know a lot of fam members own this fragrance. Now this next fragrance, guys, oh my goodness. This is one of the heavy hitters in my Middle Eastern fragrances collection. And I'm sure you will not be surprised to know that the love continues to be the same for this fragrance. And I'm speaking about Swiss Arabian's Shaghaf or Shaghaf, because someone is always correcting me in the comment section, which I appreciate, but I think it's Shaghaf Oud Tonka. Guys, this fragrance, oh my God. Now this fragrance is supposed to be inspired by BDK's Velvet Tonka. And I have an entire video comparing this one to Velvet Tonka. It's a video where I actually pull a lot of my niche fragrances and do a comparison with you. And I can tell you that this one is pretty much spot on when it comes to BDK's Velvet Tonka. But I have to tell you, I think I actually do prefer this one because the performance, and as it has macerated with the months, now that I pulled it for the fall and I used it a couple of times, I can tell you that it is just beyond beast mode. It's always been a beast mode fragrance, but now it's like beyond beast mode. And the notes are so smooth while still being intense. It has just been done magnificently. This is definitely a lifer for me and a fragrance that I highly, highly recommend if you are looking for that almond vanilla fragrance. This is perfection. Now, since we're talking about heavy hitters, I figured we just continue on that roll. And next, we're going to be talking about Lattafa Eclaire. Now, I've talked about this fragrance here on the channel so much that I'm not even going to take at all time to stop and discuss this. Just know that this is the fragrance that was inspired by Giardini di Toscana's Bianco Latte, and that it truly is like 98% Bianco Latte, because this fragrance in my collection has had a chance now to macerate for several months. And I can tell you that, oh my goodness, guys, not only does this perform beautifully, but it is truly, truly an alternative, budget-wise and otherwise, to Bianco Latte. Let us know your thoughts about this fragrance if you've picked it up or tried it. Okay, so if you're looking for a vanilla fragrance that has that coconut that's creamy but very, very coconut forward with a touch of cacao on a backdrop of a very, very dominant vanilla, then guess what? Paris Corner Qissa Delicieuse is your fragrance. This, oh my goodness, guys. Oh my goodness. This is just such a yummy fragrance. This has been a love for me since day one. And I never expected it to be a love because if you recall, I did haul here Qissa Pink, and that was not a success for me. I ended up decluttering Qissa Pink, but this one, guys, from the first moment I sniffed it, I just knew that it was something very, very special. It is a unique vanilla fragrance that will, oh my goodness, make you want to bite yourself. I can't put it any other way. It is that exquisite. But the vanilla here is just very creamy, very coconutty, and it is a fragrance, guys, that while being such a gourmand, I think you can wear it for any occasion, day and night, and it is perfection, to say the least, for the fall and winter months. Let us know your thoughts on Qissa Delicieuse or Delicious if you've tried it. Now this next fragrance, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to find it to link it for you in the description box, but I just absolutely love this fragrance. And I know that if you picked it up, I'm sure you are as much in love with it as I am. And I'm speaking about Le Bois, and this one is Bois de Vanille. Now from Le Bois, I have a couple of fragrances, and the other one is more of like a rose oud fragrance. But this one, guys, oh my goodness, this is the most elegant and sophisticated vanilla I have in my Middle Eastern collection. So if you're looking for a vanilla fragrance that could very well be your signature scent, where you smell elegant at all times and very well put together, this is a fragrance you need to get your nose on, because this vanilla is just, oh my goodness, guys. This is such a beautifully done vanilla. And what I'm finding as it has had the chance to macerate is that it has become a tad green. Sometimes it almost gives me a little bit of a vibe of like Guerlain's Angelique Noir. And I'm not saying they're not the same at all. They're not even similar. It's just kind of like a bit of a feel that I get from it. Maybe because they're both designed to be fragrances of elegance and sophistication. But this vanilla, and it layers beautifully with any fragrance that is sweet. It will layer beautifully because this, while being a true vanilla fragrance, is not sweet to my nose. It's not dry either, but it is definitely not a very sweet fragrance as to be expected from a vanilla. And I thought that as it sat and had a chance to macerate, it would become a bit sweeter, but that has not been the case. So I am just absolutely in love with this fragrance and I highly recommend it. So the next fragrance that I'm going to share with you, I am not going to spend a lot of time on because I have a dedicated review for it here on the channel, and I've also discussed it so much. And even in my last two videos, I think I've had to bring this fragrance up because when I tell you that this is perfection for the fall and winter seasons, this is such an incredible gourmand. But let me tell you, so this one is from Emir Paris Corner, and this one is Voux Patisserie. Now this fragrance is supposed to be inspired by Xerjov's Casa Marati Italica, which of course is a fragrance I own and absolutely love. And when I tell you that this fragrance is at least 98% that fragrance, I am not lying. Please let us know in the comment section if you think that this is 98%, if not more, Italica, because wow, this performance is exceptional. The notes blend is just incredible. This is a fragrance you can't go wrong with for the fall and winter season. And I'm going to stop there because I've talked about this fragrance again so much here on the channel. I'm sure you're all tired of hearing me, but this is an incredible vanilla fragrance. And if you're looking for a truly lactonic fragrance, vanilla lactonic fragrance, this is the fragrance that you need to get your hands on. But warning, while this fragrance is incredible, I am telling you, you have to be into lactonic fragrances to really enjoy and appreciate this fragrance, because otherwise it may even make you a bit sick because it is quite lactonic. So the next fragrance that I'm going to share with you is supposed to be inspired by Montal Arabian's Tonka. And I do own that fragrance, but this one is from Pendora, and this is Noir d'Arabie. Now guys, if you have tried this fragrance, can you please comment in the comment section and let us all know your thoughts, because I have not had a chance to talk a lot about this fragrance here on the channel. I know that I did discuss this fragrance one time here, but guys, this is Arabian's Tonka. And now that this one has had a chance to macerate for several months, I am telling you, this is beyond beast mode. This is just like ridiculous. Like I put it on and I get 12, 14, 16 hours, 24 hours. I don't even know what to tell you, but this is, you know, Arabian's Tonka with Montal is a beast also, like tremendous, like it never goes away. Well, this one is right there with it. And the differences are negligible. I really don't find much of a difference, except that this one may be a bit less refined, if that, than Arabian's Tonka from Montal. But otherwise, guys, you have yourself an incredible, incredible vanilla fragrance. This to me is like your truly unisex vanilla fragrance. Of all of these fragrances that I've discussed today, most of them are unisex, but this is the ultimate unisex fragrance because I cannot even justify a peak leaning to the feminine side or the masculine side. This is right there. And when I tell you, exceptional fragrance. All right, guys, so I have shared with you the 15 fragrances, 15 top vanilla fragrances for fall and winter that I have in my collection. But now I want to share with you two fragrances that if you've been with me for a while, you're probably like, how come she did not include those two? Well, yes, they're coming. These are the royalty of the vanillas in my Middle Eastern collection. And the first one is not going to come as a surprise because I talk about it almost every week. And this one is Lattafa's Teriaq or Teriaq. I don't know, whichever one of the two, but This fragrance, oh my goodness, guys, I'm not going to get into chapter and verse about it. Just know that if you have not gotten your nose on this fragrance, it is time for you to try it because it is exceptional vanilla. The next fragrance that I want to do a very special royalty level honorable mention is Lattafa's Sehr. And you guys saw that coming. I know that many of you do not appreciate this cap. I really recommend that you remove this cap. Maybe you can find a cap that'll fit it. I don't know. To me, this is all about Tom Ford Vanilla Sex, but with a performance boost that is just exceptional. This fragrance is truly a masterpiece right along with Teriaq. But guys, if you haven't gotten your nose on Sehr, this is a fragrance that, in all honesty, you should really at least try and see how you feel about it. And I can tell you that as it has had the chance to sit and macerate, it is just more and more of an exceptional masterpiece in my vanilla fragrances collection. All right, guys, so we have reached the end of today's video, and I hope that these 15 or actually 17 fragrances are fragrances that if you have not gotten your nose on, you'll be encouraged to do so, because I truly believe that you will fall in love, maybe with not all of them, but with at least 80% of them, because they truly are exceptional fragrances. As always, guys, thank you so much for hanging with me today, and I will see you all in the next video.